The NASCAR Xfinity Series race has concluded at Martinsville, and Shane Van Gisbergen, at his first trip at Martinsville in any division, he finishes 11th. What's going on, guys? It's Daniel, and welcome back to our video. As I just said a second ago, Shane Van Gisbergen has completed his first Top 3 Series NASCAR race at Martinsville, and he comes across the line finishing 11th. Initially, we had thought that SVG had finished in 12th, but after they did a review, among other things, and got like some of the results fixed up and stuff, Shane Van Gisbergen was able to finish 11th. Honestly, a very solid day for Shane Van Gisbergen. He struggled a little bit early in the race, especially on the short runs. It seemed like his car was not very good on the short run, but what I noticed throughout the race for SVG is that as he's progressed throughout this race, his car got a lot better. He was falling back in the beginning, but he was starting to pass cars. He passed drivers like Jesse Love throughout this race. He passed his teammate Josh Williams. He passed other drivers like Taylor Gray throughout the run. And he was getting as far up as about 16th or 15th, and then got up to about 10th before the final caution race come on. I thought he was going to have a really great chance and opportunity to get a top 10 tonight. But for him to finish in 11th place at a short track where it can be very chaotic and crazy, and for the first time being at Martinsville where he actually improved throughout the race, that is absolutely huge. So far, Shane Van Gisbergen throughout the 2024 season has only had 2 finishes outside the top 20 in the Xfinity Series. And one of those finishes, let's be real and honest, after a BS penalty that he got, a 30-second penalty that he should not have gotten, he would have finished second or maybe at worst third in the race at COTA. He's only legitimately had one race where he's finished outside the top 20. And he seems like he's progressively getting better. He's learning a lot more. But the one thing that he's definitely going to have to work on is qualifying. He's only had one, I think, top 10 starts so far in qualifying and up to this point. Maybe outside of Circuit Americas, and on the road courses especially. But he is definitely progressively getting better as a race car driver. He's got some cup races coming up here really, really soon. He's got Talladega in a few weeks, which I'm really excited about that for him. And in general, I think he is continuing to get better in Xfinity. And I hope he can work on the qualifying. But again, like I said, he's been getting progressively better. His performances have been definitely showing for sure. And I do believe that Shane Van Gisbergen, by the end of this year, I think he will legitimately be competing for wins, not just on road courses like he did at Circuit Americas, but I do think he will be competing for wins on other ovals, like the mile and a half, like Texas next week, though Texas is probably going to be a little bit of a crapshoot. Let's be real and honest with ourselves. You look at other tracks coming up, he's probably going to be better at tracks like Phoenix at the end of the season if he's able to make the playoffs. I still think he's below the cutoff line, even though he had a great run. I think he might have moved up because there are some drivers that were ahead of him in the points. Guys like Riley Herbst, guys like Anthony Ferrero did finish behind him, though Anthony did score some points. A couple other drivers ahead of him did struggle a little bit this evening, unfortunately, though, like Brandon Jones, who finished 27th. I think that he's probably now inside the playoffs at this point, but man, he needs to start scoring some more stage points, and if he can qualify a little bit better in these Xfinity Series races, I do truly believe that Shane Van Gisbergen is going to get there and get those wins. I think he's close to getting in there and winning some oval races. I know it's still early because you have to remember, SVG's only had around 10 to maybe 11 or 12 oval races in his career up to this point. 1 Truck Series start and 7 or 8 Xfinity starts. So yeah, so far SVG's only had like 8 or 9 oval starts in his career. And I think he's been doing absolutely an exceptional and a very, very good job. And again, I want to see Shane Van Gisbergen continue to progress in this series and continue to get better because he's improving in every single race. He was getting better on the long run. He was using the bumper, Jeb Burton got in the back of him, and then he ran back into Jeb Burton. And you look at the Rookie of the Year standings so far in Xfinity, I mean, he's second in the Rookie of the Year standings. His biggest competition this year is Jesse Love. And Jesse Love, let's be real, I think he's been doing a very, very good job so far this year. And then, of course, he's ahead of Haley Deegan. To her credit, she did finish, I think, like 18th or 19th in this race, which for her, that's a solid performance considering the last 2 weeks for her had not gone very, very well. But going back to SVG, you think about the long-term future. The reason he's in the Xfinity Series is to learn at every type of track. He knows that this is a learning year for him, and I think he's taking a lot of the stuff that he's learning in this series, and he's adapting. He's getting better. He's always at the racetrack. We see him in the pit boxes all the time at the racetrack, going out there and learning on the Trackhouse box. And I guarantee you'll see him probably on the TV screen tomorrow, or at least he'll put a video out there showing himself on the pit box. And I think that's something that a lot of drivers don't do nowadays, especially these drivers that are up and coming. A lot of them don't go out there and try to learn and see what they can do and adapt in Xfinity cars. And again, you have to remember the Xfinity car and Cup cars are basically different. They're not the same as they used to be, because the Gen 6 car and the car Xfinity has would have been basically almost the same thing. But you continue to see Shane Van Gisbergen continue to get better on a race-by-race basis. Like I said, he got moved by Jeb Burton and fell back to 25th. But on that long run, he was methodically moving back up to the front and got up as far as 18th or 19th. Then he had the caution for Garrett Smithley. I think they made a pit stop or they stayed out. Then they moved up a few more positions, and they continued to get progressively better. And they got aggressive at the end. And had the race stayed green, he would have gotten a top 10 tonight. Which, again, that would have been another top 10, his third top 10 in his Xfinity career, which I think has had 4 career top 10s on stock cars so far. And I do believe that he is going to get more of those throughout the year. Ultimately, he's getting closer and closer to being up front on a consistent basis. 11th place is a good run. It's not a fantastic run by any stretch of imagination, but for his standards, because yes, Shane Van Gisbergen, no doubt, is one of the best drivers in the series, but he's got a lot of competition this year still. He's got his teammate AJ Allmendinger. He's got other drivers like Matt DiBenedetto who's been competing with at points this year. He's been competing against like Carson Quaffle made his debut, which he had a very impressive debut earlier this evening. Guys like Eric Almirola are back in the series this year. He's competing against a lot of great talent and a lot of great drivers in this series. But for him to continue to not only get better on a race-by-race basis, but show a lot of improvement, tells me that he's learning and he is continuing to get a lot better. So once again, I'm so happy to see Shane Van Gisbergen continue to be competitive. He gets better every single race. And I do believe when you look at Texas Motor Speedway especially, he didn't really have a lot of mile-and-a-half experience. And Texas, while it is a mile-and-a-half like Las Vegas, Texas is not the same thing. And Texas is probably going to be a wild race. Hopefully, Kaulig doesn't have any tire issues for him, so he can be up there and compete up front. Nonetheless, once again, congratulations to him on a very solid performance. I thought he was going to get a top 10. He came close to finishing inside a top 10, but finishing 11th, he could build on that for sure. I do believe that he is going to continue to get better, and I think he certainly will have a good chance and opportunity to improve. And like I said, by the end of the year, I do believe that Shane Van Gisbergen is going to be competing for wins and victories in the Xfinity Series on a pretty consistent basis. So, that is going to be it on the Shane Van Gisbergen update. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, notifications on, so if I win a video, it does go live on my channel. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and support my Patreon as well. Link description below that, and comment your thoughts on today's video. How would you say Shane Van Gisbergen performed at Martinsville? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Tomorrow on the channel, we're going to have the NASCAR Cup Series starting in lineup for the Cup Series race at Martinsville, and then we'll have the Cup Series race review for Martinsville. And then tomorrow on the channel, on Monday, we should have a NASCAR news video dropping. If not, you're going to see the 2025 NASCAR Silly Season predictions. Got a ton of great content dropping on this channel over the course of the next couple days that I cannot wait for you guys to check out. So anyways, like I said, I want to thank you guys for watching today's episode, and I'll see you guys next time for more awesome NASCAR content and other motorsports content on the channel like this. Take care, everybody.